Welcome to Breaking Eggs. My name is Bella Hennon. I am the Assistant Director of Student Leadership and Engagement, and I'll let Scarlett introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Scarlett Nichols, and I am a senior at Flagler College.
So today we are going to be talking about some of the unique and special traditions that we have on campus. And so I guess we can just start with this time of year. Let's talk about midnight breakfast.
All right, let's do it. We just had it.
Yes, and so this is usually hosted by our Student Government Association. They serve breakfast food in the dining hall typically, and it's really close to midnight and is right before Halloween. So that is usually a super special tradition that they host. It's been going on for years now.
Yeah. What I love about midnight breakfast is just like seeing everybody's costume and how like creative everyone gets. It kind of has become like a competition of who is going to have the best costume, and we always do like have like a haunted mansion like theme. So that's like what everyone I feel like goes on is haunted mansion, having the best costume, and it kind of is like the buzz on campus of like who is going to have the best, what people are going to dress up as.
Scarlett, do you have a favorite costume that you've done?
Honestly, no. I'm really bad at costumes. I don't know why. It's just not my specialty. But this year, me and my good friend Nina decided to be Care Bears. But long story short, she said that I was the grumpy one, even though I think I'm the sunshine.
Grumpy?
Yeah, I don't think I'm grumpy. But I was a grumpy Care Bear for Halloween. It was really cute.
That sounds
But
super
I wanted
cute.
to be the sun, so whatever. Yeah,
well, that's
it is
okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
So another tradition that happens around this time of year is our FSDB trick-or-treating.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a great way for our students to connect with the community, the local community, not just our Flagler community. So have you ever participated in this event?
Yeah, I did it my freshman year, and it's super cool because, you know, we have such a big partnership with Florida School for the Deaf and Blind, and that's something that's really important for Flagler. And so I think us carrying on that tradition and having their students come to our campus and be able to take them around Flagler and just be thoughtful in including them in Halloween, I think it was super important for us. And so, yeah, I did it my freshman year. It was really fun. And I have a bunch of friends who have continued to do it all throughout their college experience. And especially because I think, too, we have a master's program in Deaf Ed. That's something that also opens the doors for students to get connected to faculty and staff and the students at FSDB. So
it's an amazing event. And I love seeing all this, the little kids walking around campus in their costumes. They are always the cutest.
They're literally so cute.
Let's move into maybe Harry Potter week.
Okay.
Since it is next week.
It is.
We are super excited for it. This is something that my office hosts and has kind of taken over. And it's a tradition at Flagler. It's been going on again for years.
Yeah.
So maybe what are some of your favorite things from Harry Potter week?
Okay, so I honestly knew nothing about Harry Potter when I came to Flagler. Like, I was that person that was like, what are you talking about? But then when I came to Flagler, everyone was like, you have to go to Harry Potter week. And I was like, I really don't understand what you're saying, but I guess that I'll go. So I did, and the first event that we do is like you get sorted into your house, which I had no idea that in Harry Potter land, like there were houses and like what that meant. So I took the test online, which if you haven't done that, you should take the test online. But I feel like every Flagler student has done that. But yeah, I took the test and I found out that I was a Hufflepuff, had no idea what that meant. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like so go into this. So then I think I got like a scarf and like a beanie and all this like Hufflepuff merch. And I just was so prideful to be a Hufflepuff. And I still don't think I know what that means fully. But it's my Flagler pride.
It absolutely makes sense that you are a Hufflepuff.
I agree. I think that's what people have said.
Yes, because it's very like lighthearted and happy and easygoing.
Wow.
What house do you think I am?
I think you're a Slytherin.
I'm a Slytherin.
I think you are. You?
No.
What are you?
I'm a Gryffindor.
Really?
Yes, I am.
Interesting. I don't get that from you.
That's crazy.
I think you're a Slytherin. You're sass.
So we have kind of made some changes to Harry Potter week. So let's talk a little bit about how we are continuing the traditions, but then also kind of elevating those in the future. And so one way we've done this is last year we added a Triwizard tournament to Harry Potter week. And for those of you who don't know, the Triwizard Tournaments. I think it's in the 4th movie. And basically different wizarding schools come together and compete to win the Triwizard Cup. And so we partnered with our campus rec department and created our own Triwizard tournament on campus. And it was super fun last year. But how do you think that we can continue our traditions, but then also build on them for the future?
I think what's important is like always meeting the students where they're at. And so I think while we keep these traditions alive, like you just said, we've always had Harry Potter Week, but last year we took a little bit different approach to it, I think is important because every group of students, every class of students has different needs and different things that they look forward to. And so while we want to keep that alive, I think it's also important to see like what their interests are and kind of incorporate that into everything that we do. And I think Flagler's really good about asking students what they like to see, and not even just in Harry Potter Week, like kind of across the board in all of our traditions that we have or even events that we do. Like we're very mindful about what students want to see and how we can incorporate that into our tradition. So kind of changing it up, like you can have that solid, like we have Harry Potter Week, but it doesn't have to be set in stone every year what that looks like.
Right. We can evolve and grow as we continue these traditions.
For sure.
What's your favorite Harry Potter Week event?
I want to say the Yule Ball at the end of the week because I think the whole week is so magical of like even if you don't know anything about Harry Potter like me, you kind of learn about it throughout the week. And then when you get to the Yule Ball, it's like this built up experience and you really do feel like you are in Harry Potter and like living out that like magic of it. So
yeah, and this year we actually have some exciting changes or updates, I guess, to the Yule Ball, and so it is in a new location, and we've got some special magic up our sleeve that we are really excited about for this year.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What's your favorite Harry Potter giveaway that you've gotten?
Honestly, I really like my Hufflepuff. Like Hufflepuff is my house, Flagler's my home shirt. I wear that a lot. I wore that once when I was at home, and my mom was like, what does that mean? And so then I had to explain to her what Harry Potter was, and now she knows, so I'm educating people.
I love that. Yeah. You're sharing about Harry Potter when you go home and what you've learned.
100%. Yep.
So another big tradition that happens towards the end of each semester is De-Stress Day.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure our students love it. I'm sure Scarlett loves it as well. And so De-Stress Day always happens on the Thursday before finals week starts. And that is also hosted by our student government. And they bring lots of crazy things out. So let's talk a little bit about what you've seen at De-Stress Days.
Oh my gosh, I've seen a lot. We do, there's been a petting zoo. I know that. I always love a good petting zoo. We usually have some sort of like bounce house or some sort of inflatable something for students. Food trucks, massage chairs,
therapy dogs.
There's a lot.
Food.
Always food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a great place for you all to relax and kind of de-stress, quote unquote, to right before finals. And so has that helped you maybe prepare for your finals as you're moving into that next week?
I think it's always been like a space for me of like, if I study for my finals and I get everything that I need to get done, then I can go enjoy De-Stress Day. And I always look forward to it, and I kind of use it as motivation of like, we're almost there. So like, let's keep going. And so I've kind of used that for myself of like, okay, you're almost there. You got this.
You've got this. This is your final push to kind of finish the semester strong.
Right.
And things like that.
Yeah.
Another tradition that I love, and I might be biased, it may or may not be my favorite, I don't know, but is Flagler Fest.
It's my favorite, like hands down my favorite.
And so what's really cool is that Flagler Fest has evolved even in just recent years. It started on either the West Lawn or Markland Lawn, and it was a lot of students and local artists performing, and it has now grown into where we rent the St. Augustine Amphitheater out, and it's a private concert experience for our students. Yeah. And so we are actually like heavily in the planning process of that right now. And so that's why it's kind of top of my mind. But it's super fun to kind of go through and figure out what artists we're going to bring and things like that. And so talk about maybe some of your favorite Flagler Fest memories.
Yeah. I mean, for me, Flagler Fest has always been special because I always go with my sorority sisters, and it's kind of given us like a space to hang out and spend time together. we actually have gotten to meet like most of the artists and like take a group picture like with our whole sorority and whoever the artist has been. So that's kind of something that we look forward to. But yeah, I mean, it's something that even now in November, even though it's in April, like I actively think about it. Like, who's the artist going to be? Like, what am I going to wear? Like, it's something that we all kind of talk about and all look forward to. And for me, it's kind of a nice like end to the semester, but also to the school year because it always is at the end of the year. So it's a good time.
Yeah, I always have people coming in my office trying to look over my shoulder or ask me questions about who the artist is because I'm usually one of the first ones to know.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
Yes, Scarlett has come to my office many times in the weeks prior to Flagler Fest before we've released our artist, asking who it is.
Yep.
And so that's always fun.
Yep.
We can't talk about Flagler traditions without talking about the Disney trip.
Yeah, it's like the thing that started Flagler traditions, truly.
Right. It's the longest standing tradition that we have at Flagler.
Yeah.
And Scarlett actually has kind of a unique perspective because she is also one of our orientation leaders, and she's been our lead OL as well. And so she's gotten to go on this trip both as a freshman student, but then also as an orientation leader.
Yeah.
So talk about the Disney trip and the significance of that.
Yeah. So Flagler has been going to Disney since when? Like
1774 or 1974, I mean.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
That's crazy. So yeah, we've been going for a really long time. And I think for me, like when I first went as like a student, it was kind of my first time seeing everyone at Flagler and like getting to see students in a way that wasn't like orientation where, you know, you're getting all the information about your school and all of that. It was more of like a fun, just like outgoing setting. And so I really enjoyed it because I met a lot of close friends through the trip that I'm still friends with today. But then on the other side, working, you know, with student leadership and engagement and orientation, you see those connections form. And whether students go with their roommates or people that they've just met, you can see them making those connections for themselves throughout the Disney trip. And we went together this year.
Yes, we did.
It was a great time. And I feel like we got to see like people that we saw at orientation making those connections or like going with their roommate and making those like bonds. So it's fun for us to see it on that side too.
It is definitely fun, especially now like walking around campus. I took pictures at the Disney trip this year, and so I was our little photographer / paparazzi, as we called it. And now I'm walking around seeing these groups that I took pictures of on the Disney trip where you kind of notice that, you know, maybe a small group of students, like 2 or 3, came up to the table to check in, and now there's this group of 10 students that are all together. And now walking around campus, I still see them all together hanging out. And so it's cool to see that trip has really brought connections to us.
And I think it's different too because, I mean, I have friends who go to all kinds of different universities and colleges. And when I tell them these things of like, oh, we do this Disney trip for our freshman students, or, oh, we have something like Flagler Fest where we have a concert, like they're always shocked of like, wow, like that's so cool. Like I wish my school had that. And I always feel like that sense of pride of like, yeah, like Flagler does these things.
Flagler has it.
Pretty cool.
Like we're pretty cool.
We are.
If we do say so.
Yeah, whatever. We are cool. Okay.
So why do you think that these traditions are so important to Flagler?
When I think about Flagler, always the first word that comes to my mind is community. I think we just have a strong sense of community. We always have, we always will. And maybe we're lucky because it is a small school, so it kind of comes with coming to a small school. But I think the reason that they're important is they're kind of like what ties us together, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I said, throughout all of the different traditions that we have, I've made different friends from all of them along the way. Right. And so it's kind of like strung my experience together to be like this full college experience. So I think without these traditions, we wouldn't have had those experiences. And who knows like who I wouldn't have met if I hadn't gone to Harry Potter Week, or if I hadn't gone on my freshman Disney trip. There might have been people that I just might not have crossed paths with just out of, college. We're not always together, but those experiences got me to like meet the people that I've met. So,
And you touched on it a little bit earlier, but can you talk about how our students look forward to some of these iconic traditions that we have, and maybe why they do?
Yeah, I mean, again, with a small school, like people buzz. And so, whether it be Flagler Fest or even I know next week, the buzz is going to be Harry Potter Week and everyone's going to be talking about it. It's something, like I said, that ties us together and we look forward to, because for me, it's like I get to do these experiences and have these experiences with my friends and with people that I love and cherish. And I think that's what makes traditions special. You know, like when I think back on my childhood, all of my family traditions, and the reason that I valued them is because I was doing them with my family, right? And so that's how I feel like when it comes to college, is they're so special because I'm doing them with people that I really care about and I met through them.
And like these traditions really help establish our identity, like as Flagler College as a whole, and it represents like the values of our institution and the things that are really important to us that we pride ourselves on.
For sure, definitely.
So thinking about you as a senior and sadly going to be graduating soon, what do you think about your time at Flagler, and which tradition will you look back on after you graduate most fondly, and why?
That's such a loaded question. Well, my Flagler experience, you know, I tell you this all the time, but I was super nervous to come to college as an only child and just being away from my family for the first time. But when I got to Flagler, I just knew it was the right place for me. And ever since then, I've always felt connected to this place. And so looking back when I graduate, something that I think, and this isn't something that we've actually talked about yet today, but something that I think I'll look back on is my little railroad spike that I'll get when I graduate, you know? Because, like, for anyone who doesn't know, when you come to Flagler, you get a railroad spike, and it's, like, symbolic to Henry Flagler and just kind of St. Augustine and all that Flagler is, right? So you get that, and it's supposed to represent, like, what your journey through college is going to be. So you get that right at the beginning of your time at Flagler. And then when you graduate, you actually get, like, a real railroad spike that you get to keep as an alumni.
Wow.
And so that's something for me that, like, I'm looking forward to, because no matter where I go, I can put that, you know, on my desk in my house.
Yeah, and just show it off that you are a proud Flagler alum.
And I think every time I see it, I'll think about all these other traditions that we've talked about today of, like, oh, wow, like Harry Potter week and our Disney trip and, like, all that other stuff. Like, I'll be able to think about that through that railroad spike. Like, for me, it's super symbolic because it is going to wrap all these experiences that I've had into one
final piece that you can kind of take with you for the future.
Yeah, for sure.
So we talked a little bit about the traditions that connect us to our community. How do you feel like these traditions specifically contribute to your growth as a person and as a student leader?
For sure. I think for me, I've had the privilege of being able to take on leadership roles at Flagler and, you know, work with offices like yours and just kind of across campus. And I think working and planning and putting in the time to these traditions and having them, you know, continue and be carried out is something that's made me grow, because I've learned a lot about myself through that process of planning these events and kind of just making sure that all of these things stay alive at Flagler. So I've kind of made it like a personal mission, I guess you could say, to like make sure we carry on like who Flagler is. And I've grown a lot along the way through that. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today on Breaking Eggs.